Hello everybody. In this video, we will try to understand what happens when Ketu is in Hasta nakshatra. This is a fascinating placement because see, Ketu in Hasta nakshatra has a very quietly powerful vibe. So I will try to break it down clearly first, then we will wrap it up with a kind of a story so that you can understand it better, and then you can capture how this energy plays out in real life. So how Ketu behaves fundamentally in Hasta nakshatra, if you observe, core of Hasta nakshatra is something like it is related to moon. This is basically a moon's nakshatra, and Hasta is in the sign of Virgo. So Hasta means the symbolism itself is suggesting it's hand or fist. So the main themes of Hasta is always about skill. It's craftsmanship, control, it's kind of healing, it's service, precision. This is all about Hasta. Hasta is basically the skill. The fundamental skill is Hasta. When the skill is very much optimized, it becomes very great, it becomes Chitra, right? So Hasta is all about using the hands. That's a fundamentally how you use your hands. That is all Hasta energy. See, not just physically but mentally and emotionally as well. So it represents the ability to shape reality through your skill. And what is Ketu? Basically, Ketu is detached. Ketu is always past life oriented. It's moksha seeking. It's silent and inward. It's mysterious as well. So when Ketu sits in Hasta nakshatra, it creates a master without ego pattern. So you can see a master doing a lot of skilled work with his hands, but without ego, right? Even though the ego is present in the initial days of life, but later part of life, the person would do a lot of mastery of a lot of skilled work without any ego. So the soul already knows how to do the work. That is the reason why the ego will go off in the maybe after 35 plus. I would say this particular person would not have any ego, but the person would have lot of skills to do with his or her hands. And one more important thing is it is a kind of repetition, but I want to tell you this person, especially after 35 plus, so this particular energy doesn't care about applause. So it's a kind of natural talent the person would have, because it often comes from the past life. So people with this placement often are extremely skilled, you can say, without any formal training. They can pick up the tools, they can tools, techniques or systems very fast. They can pick up all these things very fast, especially 35 plus, I would say. After 35 plus, it is much more mature, I would say. So the person would have some kind of healing hands. The person can do massage very well, energy related work very well, surgery, therapy, ayurveda, reiki healing. In all these things, the person would be very skilled. And the people with this placement are good with fine details like coding, writing, fixing, designing, crafting. Especially in the coding or writing or fixing, I would say these people are very keen. They go to inner details. So that may take some time for them, but they are basically perfectionists, I would say. So many times what happens is they don't even realize how talented they are, because it feels very normal to them. And the relationship with work, if you observe, Hasta likes control, because Hasta is very skilled, right? Especially with hands. So basically the energy likes control, whereas Ketu doesn't like control. Ketu dissolves that control. So there is a kind of conflict with this energy, Ketu in Hasta nakshatra. So it's something like the energy conflict here is, I can do this perfectly, is what's said by Hasta, but why does this even matter for me? That is what Ketu says. So there is a kind of conflict. One person is saying, I can do this perfectly, and another person is saying, of course, we can do it perfectly, but why does this even matter? So the two persons living in the same, the two persons are living under the same roof, kind of. So there is a kind of inner conflict. So this can lead to kind of doing brilliant work, then suddenly losing interest. And or you can say they are working in bursts, not consistently. And kind of this energy always avoids leadership even when they are highly capable. So they may serve silently rather than stand in front. This is the fundamental energy. And if you observe, they are very, very observant, and reads people through this energy, reads people through small actions also, like hand movements, tone, or habits. By that itself, these people can read the other people. So this energy often feels different or slightly disconnected, because that is what Ketu is, and it prefers working alone or in small trusted groups. So this energy, this energy always prefers working alone. They like to work alone, kind of thing. If other energies are if other energies are dominating, and let us say the person would have some moon in Anuradha nakshatra. So Anuradha nakshatra basically like to work with people instead of working alone. So it's something like working alone and like working in groups, kind of. But it is, if you talk about only Ketu in Hasta nakshatra, it prefers working alone or in some kind of small trusted groups. So there can be nervous energy in hands or sudden withdrawal from routines. So this is what some kind of if the energy is not much aligned, you would say sudden withdrawal from routines. And if this energy is not much developed, if it is, let us say, in a very, very, if it is a minute energy, or let us say Ketu is in Hasta nakshatra and Mercury is not promoting much energy, it means not promoting or not feeding this whole placement, because Mercury has to feed this energy. Because it's in Virgo basically, right? So Mercury has to feed this. So Mercury's placement is not very good, then it's a kind of undeveloped energy. Then if it is undeveloped, there's a kind of manipulation through skill can be observed, or doing things secretly, or over analysis leading to some kind of paralysis, or using intelligence only for survival, not for some great purpose. So if this energy is not developed very well, so these are the outcomes we can observe. So here, if this energy is working very well, let us say Mercury is feeding this whole sign, Virgo sign, very well, so Ketu is getting a lot of nourishment by that, then at its best, this placement creates healers who don't advertise, and even craftsmen who see work as a kind of meditation, work is worship kind of people you can observe, or you can see helpers who appear exactly when needed. So if this energy is working in its highest expression, this is what you can see. And their hands become tools of karma release for themselves and others if it is working in a very, very high expression. Something like Mercury is feeding, and also the moon's placement is also very good. If these two things are happening, then you can see healers in them with this placement. And sorry. So I want to tell you, just imagine a small village, and there lived a man named take some name, and he never went to school. Let us say he never claimed to know anything special, but something strange was known about him. That is, if a child is, let us say, sick, people would say, take this child to that person, he can cure. So this particular person I'm talking about, he never went to school, he is not well trained in anything, but because of the past life mastery, this particular person has some kind of healing capabilities if this particular energy is working in its highest expression. Even, let us say, if a broken machine is refused to work, this person can fix it. Especially this energy finds its great expression after 35, after the age 35. So it's something like, it's a very, very it's a very great thing that a person having Ketu in the Hasta nakshatra with a very good moon and with a very good Mercury is nothing but a kind of a master. the person would be thinking, I don't do anything, my hands just remember the things. So this is what you can say. So it's something like his hands are not for profit, they are for passing things on, or they are for doing great things, or it's something like he is a very skilled yogi, you can say. He has that mastery in his hands, he's very talented, he's a healer, he's great at service. That's what I can say. And the remedies, if this energy is not developed, or it is if it is had, let us say moon's placement is not good, or Mercury's placement is not good, then this may give some kind of negative results in the Ketu Mahadasha. Then definitely the person has to pray Lord Ganesha every day, or chant Ketu mantra every day, or feed dogs every day, or at least in the Ketu Mahadasha, I would say. And otherwise this placement can make a person as a master of some of the skills, right? And yeah, that is it. And even performing Rahu Ketu Puja in famous temples is also a very good remedy if this particular placement is acting malefically, something like the moon's placement is not good, or moon is the 8th lord, or Mercury's placement is not good, the person has to perform Rahu Ketu Puja. These are the remedies for this particular person. Thanks for watching this video.